Hi everyone and welcome to this video about composite functions. If you enjoy the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions about the content of this video or any other maths question, leave it down in the comments section below. When we have one function followed by another, the result is called a composite function. Let's take a function f of x, which is 2x, and g of x, another simple function 3 plus x. If you've watched the Intro to Functions video, you'll know that whatever is in that bracket is deemed the input for our function. And so on the right-hand side, we replace whatever x is with the new input. Let's look at the case where instead of x in the input for f, I replace it with g of x. In this case, in the bracket, instead of g of x, I could write 3 plus x. So now let's take that input 3 plus x and put it into f of x. So wherever I had x on the right-hand side of that f of x equation, I'm now going to replace with 3 plus x. So 2 times, I always use the brackets when I'm replacing, 3 plus x, time to expand it out, so that is 6 plus 2x. So here I've put a function into another function. The result, then I said before, was a composite function. We don't write it like this is a little bit too messy, so instead of that, we remove the outermost set of brackets and write f of g of x. So whenever you see this form here, it means first a function g is being applied to x, and then a function f is being applied to the output of g of x. We could think about this as a function machine, so the input is going to be initially x. The next thing that happens is we apply g of x, and so the output is going to be, of course, g of x. And we place that into a second function machine, f of x, and the output of that is going to be f of g of x. Let's take a look at this example. Part A is asking us to find f of g of x. The first thing that we apply to x is g, so we can write down straight away that will be x plus 2. We're then going to apply f to the output of g of x, so wherever I had x on the right hand side of f, I now replace it with x plus 2. So in brackets, x plus 2 replaces the x, we square that, and simplifying that, we get this. Now let's take a look at part B. So here we apply f to x first, so we're squaring the x to get x squared, and then we're placing that inside of the function g. So wherever I used to have an x on the right-hand side of g, it's now being replaced with x squared. So we've got x squared plus 2, and that's my final answer for B. For part C, I'm still doing g of f, except this time, the initial input is x plus 1. Let's take a look at f first. Wherever I had x, I now replace with the bracket x plus 1. So that will be x plus 1 squared. Then I apply g to that. So I'm replacing x with x plus 1 squared. That'll be this expression here. I'm going to leave it like that for now. Let's look at part D. Part D is just asking us to input 3 into f of g of x. Now we could place 3 into g, take the answer, place that into f, except I've already got f of g of x worked out in part A. So we can take this expression here and just input 3 into that. And if we calculate that, we find it's 25. So to summarize then, this is a composite function where we have one function applied after another. So the first step is to apply g of x. The second step is to take our answer and put that into f of x, or in other words, we're applying the function f next. Let's look at this example together. For part A, I need to find f of g of minus 3. So I could apply minus 3, place it into g of x, and then work out the answer, take that answer, put it into f of x, but here I'm going to work out f of g of x straight away, so I can do one substitution. I'm going to replace that g of x with 2 over x minus 1. So this becomes my input for f of x, so anywhere on the right-hand side of f of x, or where I used to have x, I'm now going to replace it with this bracket here. So I'm going to need to simplify this, and I'm going to leave that expression like that. So that is f of g of x that I've worked out. Just need to replace the x with minus 3 now. So you can see that every step of the way I'm substituting with brackets around my new input. And that simplifies to be minus 9 over 2. Now let's look at part B. I'm going to first work out g of f of x. We know what f of x is, so we're going to replace in the bracket of g our new input x plus 2 over x. And now on the right hand side, wherever I have x, that becomes my new input. We're going to need to simplify this. Now I can replace x with 2 to work out my final answer, which is g of f of 2 is 1. Now, of course, for these questions here, it would have been simpler to take our number, place it into our function, take the answer from that first function, place it into the second function, in order to get our final solution. I was doing these questions working out f of g of x and g of f of x in order to demonstrate what is possible using this method. In some questions, you will be asked to work out a numerical answer, like here, in which case it is easier to place the numbers straight into the functions. However, you will be expected to know how to take an unknown variable through a process like this. Thank you for watching this video. I'm glad you've made it all the way to the end. If you have any questions about the video, remember you can leave them down in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.